you just a little bit about my story. I'm going to start out by telling you I grew up in East Texas. When I grew up, I was the kind of kid, Pastor Conley was kind of poking at my dress today, but I remember when I was growing up, I had holes in my jeans. I was the kind of kid that and that's when having holes in your jeans wasn't cool, okay? My mom was a minimum wage person. My parents got divorced, and that radically changed, my life. And I always wanted to grow up. I wanted to be able to make money. I wanted to be able to make it happen. Moved to Dallas, had a rock star summit, got married, had 2 kids by the time I was 20, and through that, I had a company that we founded, my wife and I did, and we took that to the absolute top. Recognized by Inc. magazine as one of the fastest growing privately held companies in America 3 times, did over $65 million in revenue, but it got to be where it wasn't any fun. So what I want to talk to you about is intentionality. I want to talk to you about starting with the end in mind. I want to talk to you about the difference between being a solopreneur, just starting a business, and actually being a business owner. See, what I did was I started a business just one day doing it part-time. A piece of wood flew through the windshield of my car, broke my hand. It was a devastating situation financially. I just couldn't work harder for a little while, and I had to put together a game plan to get back caught up again. When I did that for myself, I thought, you know what, I can apply this to others and help others do this, and that's how this company was formed. But I didn't plan anything. I just started doing it, and then I did a little more, and then one day my boss got, he made me mad, and I just said, deuces, I'm out. I ain't going to do this no more. And I came home, and my wife was like, what happened? I said, I quit today. She goes, what? I've been in this job for 6 years. It was our insurance. It was everything. What are we going to do now? Well, I'm going to be a full-time entrepreneur. That was 17 years ago. And, God blesses people in so many different ways, and he's looked out for me. I don't always know why he does what he does for me, but I'm super appreciative of it. But again, through that process, we took that company to the top, to the mountaintop. I got everything I could ever have asked for, except for it really wasn't what I wanted to do. See, I was a CEO of a company. I had 110 employees, but I was doing things that really wasn't that much fun to me. And it got to the point where it really was just almost like depression. And I'm a pretty positive guy. I'm not the kind of guy that gets depressed, but I just didn't like to do it anymore. So ultimately, we still have that company, okay? My wife basically oversees it now, but I totally jumped ship and did something totally different, because if you're not reinventing yourself every 5 years, okay, you're going to become irrelevant. And so whenever you go from being that solopreneur to being the actual business owner, you've got to reinvent yourself, but you have to start with that end in mind. You can't necessarily do like I did. I mean, TK talked about it. You're going to have failure. Well, I've had tons of failure. I've litigated a case with the federal government over 5.5 years. It cost me about $2 million of real cash, and who knows the cost above and beyond that. But through that, we've had our ups and downs. My wife was diagnosed with breast cancer 4 years ago, and that radically changed everything about our business and what we were going. And it really just, had to change my trajectory. So I tell you all that to say that the entrepreneurs that you see, the people that you're hearing about success tonight, you tuned in tonight, you came tonight because you want to know how to be a successful entrepreneur. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, there's a couple things. Number one, you start with the end in mind. Okay, you don't just go out there and jump in there and do it, or you'll make mistakes, and when you make those mistakes, they can be very costly. Again, some of them will be thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of dollars like it was in my case, and really kind of mess you up mentally, make you not want to do that anymore. Number two, you got to surround yourself by the right people. I know one of Pastor Conway's favorite scriptures, and it is mine too, is Proverbs 13:20. It's he who walks with the wise will become wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. I've been on both sides of that. I've been around great people that have helped me, just go to the roof. And then I've had people that weren't that way, and they caused me harm. And so, kind of as I wrap everything up, I just want to tell you, it's not always going to be, rainbows and butterflies, okay? If you really want to be an entrepreneur, you got to start with the end in mind, figure out why you want to do it, not just because you don't want to work for somebody else, and then you got to figure out if you have the aptitude and the attitude to be an entrepreneur. There's some things that are great about being, your own boss. I jokingly say that now I only work half days, okay? My half day starts about 7 in the morning, goes to about 7 at night, okay? That's a half day for me. But with all that being said, my name is Doug Parker. Appreciate your time. Go out there and crush it in your business, everybody. Have a great night.